Hey Shackers, welcome back to This Week in Switch 2. It's episode 42, which is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, if you've read those Douglas Adams books, which I certainly have. You know, we have our a full panel here, so I do have to say, we don't have a dedicated camera for our new co-host, Talking Flower, but let's just let Talking Flower weigh in before I even introduce myself.
Did you know the planet is spinning?
I did know that, Talking Flower. I'm your host, Asif Khan. I'm CEO, Editor-in-Chief, EIEIO here at Shacknews, which stands for Extremely Intelligent Extreme Intelligence Officer. At a time where line used to go up for most of the market, I have created extreme intelligence instead of artificial intelligence to make the Shacknews line go up. And I guess you can just make up anything. I can just confirm line go up here at Shacknews. I'm joined by my usual co-host, Talking Flower, but we also have head of long reads, who's working on many long reads, and managing editor of Shacknews, David Craddock, is here.
Hello.
Rocking your Mario shirt.
Yeah.
And, we have news editor and Pokemaster, Donovan Erskine is here.
What's up? I choose you.
Boy, we're going to talk about Pokopia in a little bit. And this is a weekly Pokopia show with other Nintendo news sprinkled throughout it until further notice. And yes, we have our senior news editor and the person who named This Week in Switch 2, TJ Denzer, is here.
Hello.
Hey, TJ, and I know that you played a game that I'm super jelly that you've been playing, because, like you said, it is adorable and a wonderful little ball of positivity. So we're going to get into that here in a second, too. But first, I feel like we should hit this big story first before we get into some of these previews. We're going to have TJ talking about Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. We're going to have Donovan talking about Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Meetup at Bellabel Park.
Aced it.
Nailed it. But before that, we got a Pokemon Champions overview trailer today, Donovan.
Yeah, a trailer that opened with Palafin, which is a Pokemon nobody knows exists, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, it's the battle sim that's coming out April 8th, we now know. They had previously just said it'd be an April thing. I honestly assumed it'd be end of April because we got this news in February, but it's actually just 2 weeks away. And yeah, they kind of did an overview where they dove into the systems, how the process will work of transferring Pokemon or recruiting them in-game, and then all the little things you'll spend money on because there's going to be currencies and battle passes and the like.
So my understanding is they introduced this thing called victory points, which I assume you generate by winning in the game.
Yeah, so you earn some after every game. It's unconfirmed how much you get, which people are kind of debating about now, but yeah. You win games, you get victory points, then you spend them on everything.
Do you not get victory points when you lose?
Probably not. Probably not, which I think is going to upset people.
So that's one thing. But also, like, we know this game is free to play. Free to start, I think is how Nintendo refers to these games now. So it's free to start, and it's coming to mobile. And the Pokemon Company has shown a track record of being able to aggressively monetize free games, right?
It's a great way to put it, yeah.
So I asked you in our DMs, like, before we started the show, I'm like, is this gonna be, like, the currency? Like, is this, like, are we gonna be able to buy victory points? And by definition, would that not be pay to win? Like, you're paying for victory points?
Right, yeah, so I've already seen a lot of Pokemon content creators talking about this. I don't think it'll be pay to win, but I think it will be pay to enjoy yourself, which is just as bad. This isn't to excuse, but depending on how many points you get for winning a game, it's going to be a grind, because in the trailer we see you pay VP for one just to recruit Pokemon. It was like 2,000 to permanently recruit like a random Pokemon you find, and then every item, and changing their stats and abilities, which is cool. You can do that because you couldn't do that before. That's all going to cost VP. So people were already like doing the math of like, it's going to cost this much just to fully customize one Pokemon to be competitively viable. And if you've got to grind out 10, 15 matches that you win to do that, it's going to be a slog, which is kind of how these games live, right? These free-to-play freemium games where it's like, you could play it for free, it'll be miserable, and you'll play 1,000 hours. Or you could just buy the monthly subscription and it'll be simple, smoother, probably what it should be. It seems like that's the direction this game is going, just based on the fact that they're talking about battle passes. There's going to be the Dragonite Megastone is in the battle pass and whatnot. It's one to watch for being one of them ones. And like you said, you mentioned the other mobile games, Unite, TCG Pocket, very aggressively monetized video games. Go, certainly in there too, yeah.
And, I think it's interesting, though, Diamond, because this is clearly going to be the esport for them. I don't know for how long, but at least for this year's Worlds, we know that the competitive part of Pokemon is going to be Champions this year. With the free-to-play nature, doesn't it kind of set it up to be a multi-year esport?
That was my assumption. I was like, oh, this is just the future. And I saw some people pushing back and were like, well, no, maybe it's just this year to push the game. And then when Winds and Waves comes out, that'll go back to being the thing, which could happen. I mean, you can never predict what this company's going to do in the long term. But yeah, that's what makes this interesting to me, right? Because the games we just talked about, Go, TCG Pocket, Unite, all firmly spin-off games. They are like side games that don't play like normal Pokemon games. They have weird quirks about them and whatnot. But Champions is like, not a mainline game, but it's going to be a mainstream game. It's supposed to be the new battle sim. It's like the spiritual successor to Pokemon Battle Revolution and Coliseum and Stadium, those kind of games. So,
and it's something we talked about with respects to Legends ZA, in that like there's this divergence happening between turn-based battle and the real-time combat system that David and I really enjoyed. I think a lot of people enjoyed in Legends ZA.
Sure.
So it's like, where does Winds and Waves fall in that, right? So if Winds and Waves uses the, like, either, I think, David, you suggested like an optional choice between turn-based and real-time, or even just real-time only, then I think it kind of sets this up, Donovan, where Champions could be the esport going forward.
Yeah.
And it's also like, we've seen it with Unite, right? Like, there were players at Worlds who were playing Unite on their phones, right? And on tablets. So it's like, because Champions is available on iOS devices and Android devices, it increases that addressable market, right? So, like, I'm really curious. Like, obviously we know it's the esport for this year, but it's like, is this the esport for the foreseeable future? Because that could get really interesting, I think.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that, so this comes out April 8th for the Switch. Day one is going to be a Switch 2 update that they said gives you improved graphics, so that's cool. But mobile's later in the year. We don't know when it comes out to mobile.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if that's before or after Worlds, which is in August. But yeah, I mean, this game is going to be a massive hit, especially once it gets to mobile devices. And for what it's worth, I don't think it's all bad. I feel very concerned about the way this game is going to be monetized. But feature-wise, looks sweet. Looks like there's a large Pokédex. The way you can customize Pokemon is awesome. Anyone who there was such a barrier to entry for competitive Pokemon for so much of the franchise's existence, because to have like the best Charizard, you had to get a Charmander with the right nature, and you had like a 1 in 16 chance of that happening. And then you had to have the right, ability spread. You had to EV train, IV train. You had to use like these invisible stats that players like track themselves. It was like going on a wild goose chase just to get like a competitively viable Pokemon. So now that this game's just like, hey, if you want it to be timid, adamant, quiet, whatever, just toggle, switch over.
Yeah,
is literally saving hundreds of hours off the process of how people used to do this.
Yeah, and I think that cool. That balance, like the other thing that I think we mentioned in our DM was like that whole recruit process, that you can recruit a Pokemon and play with them for free for a week. I think that kind of mitigates part of that. Oh, it's pay to win aspect of it. Obviously, you have to like time your recruiting properly. But then I agree with you that the ability to swap in traits and also swap in different moves using the VP stuff that they offered. I think it is one of those things where like I can still see where there's going to be a grind, but at the same time, like it seems like they're trying to mitigate that with some of these systems. Going to be really interesting. I know you're going to PAX this week, so it's there. So next week, Donovan will be able to let us know exactly how he feels about the game having his hands on it. Obviously, I was going to ask you, like, don't you think this is the kind of a hard thing to show on a show floor of a convention?
Maybe, yeah. I assume they'll just give you a bunch of rental teams.
Yeah.
Which is what you could do back in like Stadium and whatnot, where they just give you a team of 6. You just play with them, which could be fine. You know, we will. I'm assuming that they have like a diverse range to choose from.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the battles will be timed.
But yeah, home integration, I think, is also another thing that'll mitigate some of my concerns for this.
Yeah.
I am not a competitive Pokemon player, so like this doesn't really appeal to me. Although I do like watching Worlds. I like watching, you know, I like watching esports in general, like watching people who are the best, you know, go head to head. And I do find that the production of Worlds has gotten better every year. I know, TJ, you've played a lot of Unite. Like, I think Unite's been really exciting to watch competitively. That's why, like, the success of Unite and the success of Go Donovan are 2 reasons why I'm like, I think Champions might stick around for more than a year.
I have to say that temporary Pokemon thing that they're doing in Champions, like, they pulled that right out of Unite, and it's such a nefariously good tactic for a game like Pokemon, where you let someone have a taste of the strategies they could use with their favorites, or something that they haven't tried before, and then you got to pay to get to keep them as a permanent member of your squad. Like,
yeah, I'm glad
it's
you
a
brought
working
that
formula
up.
in Unite.
Yeah,
And,
I'm glad you brought that up, because when I saw it, I thought the same thing, TJ. I was like, this is a lot like Unite, which is successful, so it makes sense. I don't think anyone thought Unite would be as big as it is when they originally announced it, but like that has a legit community. It's actually pretty fun. Like, I don't really like those games, you know, that much. Like, I guess it's the League, the Dotas of the world. Like, so like.
The formula's there, man.
Yeah.
Take a proven popular genre and take devs that are proven in that genre and apply Pokemon to it and profit, you know? What if Pokemon was League of Legends? $signs. What if Pokemon was Animal Crossing? $signs. I think they're going to just run through all the big ones over the next several years.
Pokemon Kart.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%.
Pokemon FPS, which I guess already exists with Snap, but I'd just take another one.
Pokemon X Quake. Rocket
I could see a Diablo-style dungeon crawler action RPG sort of situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like what they're doing with Minecraft dungeons.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That with the Pokemon universe. David, you would be all about that.
Yes, I would.
So, Nintendo Ninja, if you're not too busy giving influencers access to the Super Mario Galaxy movie instead of Shacknews, take some notes.
.mu published side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Ooh,
yes,
that'd be good too.
While we're here, Pokken did not get, like, Pokken was not bad.
10 years old.
Yeah, Pokken was not that bad.
Yeah,
Just gonna say it.
No,
I enjoyed looking for Pikachu.
I mean, one, you know, not it was gonna ruffle some feathers, but it was a Wii U game, so its ceiling was already very low, just of how popular it was gonna be. By the time they ported it to Switch, I think people were already over it. And the roster was kind of small. I think some of the recent Pokemon spin-offs have been bolstered by how big their Pokédexes are. You look at like Pokopia's got like 300 Pokemon in it. They could definitely take another crack at Pokken, but you gotta give me like a big roster. I need like a Smash Ultimate sized roster of fighters.
I know we're going to talk about Pokopia later, but I did see people talking about this because, you know, half of the Pokemon community has already beaten this game and is making amusement parks and shit in the game. There are no ice types.
No.
That
no ice biome, yeah.
That smells like DLC to me, folks. There are no ice types and there's no ice biome, David. And, you know, living in Siberia, aka Ohio, I'm like, this is kind of weird. That being said, TJ, when you started playing Animal Crossing just a month ago, or 2 months ago now, when the 3.0.0 update came out, you were like, I'm sick of winter. So it's funny how, like, we were all sick of winter in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and then Pokopia came out, and there's no ice biome whatsoever. But it just seems like perfectly set up for this winter. Here's a DLC for Pokopia. We've sold X million units, and now here's time for more money. You know, I see that coming like a freight train. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about Pokemon Champions because I don't think it's necessarily for me. But it does seem like they're trying to mitigate some of that pay-to-win feel of it. We'll just have to stay tuned. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hear what you have to say about it after trying it out at PAX. I want to reiterate the visuals look like they're straight up pulled from Legends ZA in a lot of ways, like the character models. They look good. The Pokemon models, like the Dragonite. Also, Mega Evolutions, Donovan. I did see that. That's going to be part of this.
There's going to be Megas. They're supposed to be doing all the gimmicks. They're supposed to have like Terrestrialization, which was Scarlet Violet's thing. Z moves, which is Sun and Moon. We still don't have clarity on will those be like in the same matches. Will there be like rule sets where it's like here's a Mega match, here's a Gigantamax match, or whatever. But yeah, we'll see. It's gonna have a ranked mode, so I'm gonna grind that. I might stream it. That'd be fun.
Nice. I don't know what I will do with this game. I will watch it, as I have historically with turn-based Pokemon games. It just hasn't been my vibe for a long time. But I think it looks nice. I think that's important for an esport too. I can go back to my casual self when it comes to watching competitive Pokemon. Cool. But yeah, we'll have more to talk about with Champions. We're just putting it on everyone's radar. That was a big enough story to kind of lead the show with. And yeah, it's on Nintendo Switch. There is a Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade pack that's going to be available for it. So that right there is like, 170 million people can play this game, and it's free. So in a time of $80 games, the one $80 game on the platform, free, is it's not bad. Hopefully, Shinsuke Hasegawa will have the storage space on his device to download this. We'll have to wait and see. But TJ, we got to talk about this. You are playing Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, for review, but you have previewed it here. This is the preview embargo is up for this game. How awesome is this game?
This game is... There's so much charm in it, so much like crafting of like. I actually put a finger on what it is about this game that makes me happy.
And we'll never know.
Game is
sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Oh, sorry.
That's all good.
I was actually able to put my finger on what makes Tomodachi Life feel a bit different from the other cozy sims we've had, like Pokopia and Animal Crossing. Mm-hmm. It's so much more focused on characters and emergent activity in those characters. Like you design Mii's as like an advancement in this game. Like when you level up, you get to make another character to put in this world, and all you do is you give them a name, you decide their like general personalities between like a bunch of different stats like energy, politeness versus honesty, quirkiness versus like plain, and then you let them loose, and you can either make them like hang out with certain characters that you want them to meet up with, or you can just kind of see what happens. But whatever happens, like you really don't have any control over what they do outside of the things that you give them and the ways that you move them around. I made an avatar of myself and I made an avatar of my spouse, and they initially went on a date and then he decided he didn't like her anymore. and so he went off and like almost 10 minutes later he saw another character and he was like, I think I'm in love. and Sam was like, your character's a whore. And that's just kind of what happened.
They did a good job of highlighting that in the overview trailer, TJ, where like there was this kokuhaku moment where like, in Japan, like when you like someone, you have to tell them you like them and you want to date them or whatever. And it was like in a gondola, and then like the clown appears, and the love interest picks the clown instead of you. So like I think it was a girl in that case, like she was like left in the gondola by herself. Like, what the hell, guy? Yeah. That game. It's like a sandbox more than it is a life sim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think you're right in pointing that out for sure.
But it does fit that Sims vibe where it's like you have some agency in the matter, but like you don't decide how they respond to the situation. And a lot of the early stuff is like you make a character and then you learn some mechanics of the game. Like you learn how to feed them and you learn how to where you can buy clothes and give them outfits. And then you get to make another character. And then you discover this thing called the Wish Fountain, which one of the things you do with the characters in this game is you try to make them happy by having them do different activities or feeding them. And when they are happy, they level up. And that gives you warm fuzzies as the currency of the game that you then take to this Wish Fountain. And it lets you unlock like new quirks for them, new items for the shop, new stuff for this. You can design like T-shirts and clothing or props, or you can design land tiles. And through the Wish thing, you unlock those design elements. So by leveling up your characters and leveling up your island, you get the warm fuzzies and you get to unlock more content to give to your characters.
So warm fuzzies is the currency in this game?
Yes.
Okay, I fucking love this game. That's ridiculous. That is so awesome. It's important to mention that, like, this is about creating Miis. Like, this is the avatar system from the Nintendo Wii. And we are now, what is this? The 4th generation of Miis? This is where I bring up Miiverse. Don't you think, sir, that this game would be better if Miiverse still existed?
I do. And I can confirm at this point that the Mii creation tools are so good in this game.
Nice.
Like, you remember the avatar that you have for like Mario Kart 8?
Yeah.
You can do that kind of stuff and more again, where like you have the option to like rotate eyes, move them all over the place, make them smaller and bigger, and the same with like mouth, nose, ears, all those props.
Excellent.
There was a character I made who is like my favorite one that I made so far. I made this little old goblin lady that I was like, and there's like, you can give an H to your characters or you can skip it. And I was like taking it up as high as I could go because I just wanted to see, because I went up to 99. I was like, sure, it'll probably stop at 100. No, it keeps going. And I made her 130 years old. And she's a little old lady named Mama Yaga that runs around my town with a sing-song voice. Like, hello, nice to meet you.
I love the auto-tune nature of their voices too. Like it is like one of the funniest things. Has any like random emergent what the fuck moment happened to you yet? Or you're just like, huh? I didn't know this game could do this.
There was a time where I was watching like a little scene play out with Sam's character and another character where they were just hanging out and talking about romance novels, and Mama Yaga was just in the background of the scene running in circles for no good reason.
Nice.
While the scene was playing out.
Nice.
And then eventually I went to go check on her, and she was like, "I'm just bored. Put me with someone else."
I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was this like musical number that Iwata's Mii did in one of these games where he was singing about the release date of the Wii U. That's one of my favorite moments in this franchise's history.
So quiet lately.
It's really not quiet lately. We're doing a podcast right now. This fucking guy. But yeah, they had this weird thing that I think it was in a direct or an overview trailer that they're gonna like limit the social sharing of this game, because like people can create all sorts of Miis in this game, TJ, right? Mm-hmm. And like we live in very trying times here in the United States, and I think people, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was playing Wii Bowling and Wii Sports, I created a Barack Obama Mii, and I had like all sorts of different Miis. So I think like in this political climate, Nintendo might be worried about situations that may be created. But yeah, I am interested in that. Have you messed around with the like? I know they have like it's like gender identities in the game. Have you been able to like see any of that interaction yet?
Yeah, when you make a character, you get to choose whether they're male, female, or non-binary, and you get to choose their dating preferences as male, female, and non-binary. And yeah, the creative freedom that you have for the characters and the island is pretty impressive so far. Like, just I really enjoyed taking a character and not just messing with their like their looks, but also being able to pitch them a certain way, where like they were either like deep voiced or fast or slow or sing songy or like lilty, and it really is fun when you're crafting just like all sorts of different identities for this game. It also, like, I've been crafting them myself because I like doing that stuff, but it does give you the option to just like give it some ideas of what you're looking for, and then it'll make a character for you.
Is the clown guy just in the game?
It's like one of those things where it's a random chance. Like it makes a character when you give it preferences. So Hio Morris was a creation of what the preferences they gave it to make a character.
Okay. I was like, is he one of those like he's in the game, or no? That's just like that can happen.
Yeah. And I think one of the coolest things here is that, like, as far as when you put characters together and they start engaging with each other, it feels like one of the funnest things about Tomodachi Life will be discovering scenes, because if two characters hang out a certain way in a certain place with certain props, there's a chance of them just activating a cutscene, like the confessing love stuff or the breakup stuff, or just like any other thing that they could be doing at a time, like playing baseball or something. And
then suddenly it becomes like a soap opera. Like I think it's such a wacky game. I'm really interested. It's been so long since the last entry in this series that I'm like really interested to see what the hell these devs have been cooking up, because like, to your point, like you don't expect those moments. They just happen. Right? So it's like, it's the surprising part of the game that I'm really looking forward to.
Yes.
Which is why I'm sure they don't want people to be sharing it on social. But it's like, it's also the kind of game that it would be kind of perfect to be sharing on social for those viral moments. Like, I'm curious, like, you know, how they're going to manage that. Because, like, you know, OBS exists. You can capture gameplay. You know, like, people are going to stream this game. You know, like, I wonder how they're going to handle that, because it's going to get crazy when this game is out in the wild. The things that people are going to do it's going to be hilarious. And it's just interesting because now we've had, like, you had Animal Crossing 3.0.0 earlier this year, and that like gave a huge resurgence to that game. David, you were playing it, like, you like rebuilt your island. Once again, I've left my island in disarray because Pokopia came out. But then it's like, we had ACNH, then we had Pokopia, now we have Tomodachi Life. Like, these are three very much cozy, escapist kind of games in a row from Nintendo. It's like, do they see a need for this? Like, are they worried about people? Because I'm interested. But yeah, like, I don't know how I'm gonna have time for this and Pokopia in my life. I'm really worried about this.
For sure. Because, like, you can do a lot with the building as well. Like, where I once I got to about 5 islanders, it introduced me to tiling mechanisms where you can build ground tiles across the island and design them. And with the palette shop, you can actually draw tiles the way that you want them to be. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for creativity here.
Interesting.
I also like that they use the islanders as a mechanism for leveling up and introducing you to the mechanics of the game. Like, you do part of like what you're going to be doing, and then you get another islander to add to the mix.
Nice. Well, you're still playing it for review, so we'll have you back on to talk about your full review of the game. Is there anything else you want to let the folks at home know about before we move on?
Me with like Sims type game with me's is really funny, so stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah, I'm just so curious. Like, there's always something really weird and unexpected in these games, so I'm just like, what on earth is going to happen? There's going to be, we have this Poke Crossing channel, which I noticed you're posting about Tomodachi Life in there. It's basically become our Cozy Games channel. But yeah, this is Pokopia's got kind of taken over my timeline, and I could see how Tomodachi Life will do something similar. It's also on Switch and Switch 2. This is like one of the last Switch 1 games to come out. So a ton of people will be able to play it, which I think is a good thing. Because it's not like the most technologically taxing game. Anyway. Cool. So Donovan, you've been playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup at Bellabel Park.
Yes, I have, which is, one of the mouthfuls of all time. But it's a fun update to Mario Bros. Wonder. It is mostly multiplayer focused because the Bellabel Park is the larger slice of...
2 p.m.
Just letting you know what time it is.
Fitting for the Wonderflower to start talking, because he's back in all his glory in this. But it's mostly multiplayer focused because the Bellabel Park stuff is all like local and online multiplayer. They have like mini games. It's very like Mario Party style where there are 2v2 mini games. There's free for all stuff. They have races. They have collectathons. They have like platforming challenges. I did one earlier where we were just on a stationary level and each platform had like a timer on it, and every time it was like a number, and every time you touched it, it went down one, and they would like disappear and you'd fall through, and you were trying not to fall down while other players also tried to stay up. There's a collecting one with Boo where you're trying to get coins while Boo isn't looking, but if you move while he looks, you lose your coins. Very Mario Party-esque. That was all fun. They have it separated into like a local multiplayer park where you can just have people on the same Switch run around and you do your games, but then there's also the game rooms where you can host online or have people play like on different Switches in a room together. They have game share, which is cool. Not everybody has the game. They do have some games that are only available on the game room side, like a lot of the ones where you're like driving stuff, like a clown car or bubble or whatever.
Get excited, David.
Yeah.
Clown car.
Yeah. There's some vehicle-based ones. There are some that use like the mouse mode. I think I mentioned when I previewed it, but I really like the one where 2 people are going through a level and then the other 2 are drawing the donut blocks for them to jump on.
Yeah.
While the level auto-scrolls is really good.
I think that was a feature in New Super Mario Bros. U, David. There was that with the stylus, you could draw in some platforms for people.
Yeah, you just tap the screen and a platform like a block would appear.
Yeah. I think a lot of this, Donovan, feels like they're trying to make it a little bit more like the multiplayer aspects of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, which I think is a good thing. Like, those are ridiculously fun. Because the original multiplayer stuff in Wonder was kind of asynchronous, David. There was like, I would see your ghost on a level, you would see my ghost on a level.
You could put the little standees, which they've added more of those.
Amy and I were disappointed because we wanted to play proper co-op. So, hopefully this will remedy that. Kind of.
It's like not proper co-op. It's going to just be multiplayer experiences in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've added Rosalina to the cast of characters you can play in Bellabel Park, or in just the standard campaign. They also have added Luma, but Luma is specifically a co-op character for Rosalina. So you have to pick Rosalina, and then a player 2 can just be in co-op mode as your Luma, and they like fly around you and stuff. And what's cool is that now that Rosalina's here, she has all the new forms. We've got Elephant Rosalina. She has like a little Bellabel Park thing where she's like a flower.
So, how does she play? Is she like Peach? Like, how does Rosalina play? Is she like Peach and Daisy? Is it like just another Peach and Daisy kind of clone, or does she have her own kind of mechanics?
She felt floaty to me. Didn't feel like she had any like crazy new mechanics though. I mean, animations and stuff, sure. But she didn't feel all that different from the other princesses now.
Okay.
No.
I've seen some theories about the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie the Super Mario Galaxy movie and Rosalina's relationship to Peach. There are some theories out there.
There's some long-standing theories there. I remember watching like Map had videos about that way back. People used to think there was some relation there.
That she might not be her mom, but I don't want to spoil anything. ...
I also noticed, you have to tell me if this is in other Switch 2 edition games of Switch 1 games. There's like the option from the main menu to just boot the Switch 1 version. I saw. Because I don't know if that's a thing in other games, like if Kirby had that or not, but like, yeah, there's like a little icon you can just press from the start menu that's just like load the Switch 1 version, which I thought was interesting.
I don't have that in Zelda at all.
No. Why would you? Is there a reason you'd want to do that, Donovan?
I don't know. So when I got on, it automatically like transferred over like my playthrough. Like I had my saves, I beat the original like release of Wonder, so I had all like the levels done. I had like a bunch of the badges and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to do that. I really don't.
That's weird.
I thought it was interesting that they included that.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I rolled like a new game because I played through like the level 1-1 with Rosalie, and then when you start over, they do the intro and it's like Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Then it expands and it goes plus Meetup in Bellabel Park, Switch 2 edition, yada yada. And they've added some stuff to like the actual main playthrough as well. They have like extra like Koopaling bosses you can fight like on levels and whatnot. Obviously, having a Rosalina gives you like new forms and stuff to mess with. Oh, they did a thing with the badges too, which I was always divisive about those playing through the base Wonder, but they have a thing you can unlock now where you can have like 2 badges equipped at once.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool.
You have like combos and stuff you can mess with.
Because that I think that creates a whole new speedrun meta. Like,
oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's actually quite cool because there was already like I don't know if you watch Wonder speedrunners, but like there's like the best practices and like watching people lab that. Grand Pooh Bear was one of those guys I was watching do that, but like now that you can do 2 of them, oh, that's interesting. I just want to point out this title is 78 characters long. Is that the longest Nintendo game title we've ever seen?
It's the longest I've ever seen. It's the first game that when I wrote the preview, I had to like drop our practice of being like giving like some sort of like, you know, subtitle because there's no room.
You
there's
ran
no
out of
room
characters.
To say, yeah, I couldn't be like, even if I just wrote is a fun game, like that was like coming up close to like 100 characters, so I had to shorten it. I mean, unless there's some obscure like Nintendo game from 50 years ago I don't know about.
No.
It's the longest one I've seen.
Nintendo games back in the day were very short. They had to fit on the cartridge or the box art.
Baseball.
Yeah. Golf.
Golf. Yeah.
Rad Racer. R.I.P.
Yeah. It's definitely them trolling. Even at the events where I've listened to like PR people say the name out loud, they have like a smile on their face when they say the full title.
I have it written down here so I don't get it wrong. But yeah, I do find it to be a ridiculous thing. Interesting. So Rosalina, kind of one of the selling points. Definitely feels like they did this because the Mario movie's coming out, and they're like, you know, the Mario movie effect is a thing. This game came out the year that the original Mario movie came out, so it's like,
sure,
you know, it's kind of like, you know, the sequel's here. Wouldn't it be nice if we got a new Mario game, guys?
If only. If only.
And wouldn't it be nice if it was 3D?
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be nice if it was Mario Galaxy 3?
Stop right there.
I need those tacos, man. Anyway, sorry. This is a long-standing bet between David and I. It's been going on for most of the show at this point. But yes, if there was a drinking game for this week in Switch 2, people would have to drink because I just mentioned Super Mario Galaxy 3. I'm holding out, man. I really think that we might get that. Cool. Yeah, I gave one. I believe I reviewed Wonder. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I love this game. I think it's really one of the best 2D Mario games they've ever made. It's not that I thought that the new Super Mario Bros. Was bad. I just thought it got kind of stale as they kept kind of remaking it, David. It was like, you know.
Yeah, they used a lot of the same art assets. Even the world order was the same for most of them. Like, I love those games, but I think that there were some standout ones, but like playing all of them, I couldn't imagine doing that again.
No.
You know?
And it was like, it was also because they did that thing where there was the 3DS version and then here's the Wii U version, you know, like it really diluted the franchise's value to me. So like Wonder was this breath of fresh air because it did incorporate new mechanics. It did introduce new power-ups. So like, do you think we're going to have Elephant Mario in the Mario movie?
Yeah, there's only so many things they can stuff into that movie before it becomes like pure fan service. I'm not sure if we'll have Elephant Mario. I think we're already having Baby Mario. I think that'll be the permutation that we see.
We've seen Drill Mario. We saw Cloud Luigi.
We're going to see Fire Flower Mario.
Yeah, we saw that, I think, in the first trailer. Which was weird in the first movie. We saw Fire Flower Peach and Fire Flower Donkey Kong in the first movie, which Fire Flower Donkey Kong blew my mind. When I saw that, I was like, I need that in a game. Like, I need Donkey Kong in a side-scrolling Mario game. Like, I need that. And we haven't.
Could you imagine Donkey Kong with the feather and the cape just like flying through walls?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I could. I need all of that. And yeah, Donkey Kong has been kind of missing in all these trailers. So very interested to see if Donkey Kong is even in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. We're a week away. We are a week away from the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'm very excited. And I don't have an invite to the premiere, guys, so I'm going to have to see it in Canton like a buster. But I already have tickets because I hedged for that. Looking forward to that, though. It seems like they're in Japan for the premiere. Just from all the press stuff I'm seeing right now. Can you blame them?
No.
But anyway, I figured we should hit some news. We talked about this last week. NVIDIA, NVIDIA's chip is inside the Nintendo Switch 2 and the Nintendo Switch. I believe they had a Tegra chip from 2015 that they shipped in the original Switch. But there was this DLSS 5 technology demo shown at NVIDIA GTC. And news came out that it is basically a 2D image renderer. It uses some vector analysis, but it is basically an Instagram face tuner, Donovan. That's what came out.
Yeah, as people feared.
It's a yassification tool, is what it looks like.
It is, and this is not what Jensen Huang said.
Nope.
So this is now, it's becoming a pattern with this guy where he's not being honest about things. He's kind of, I don't know. I'll say it. This is what a bubble looks like right before it bursts. This is exactly what it looks like. This is going to do everything. He was on, you guys know who Lex Friedman is? He's very successful podcaster. He did a 3-hour interview with Lex Friedman this week. And shocker, clips are being taken out of context on Twitter. So someone posted that Lex basically framed this question to him like, there's this concept of artificial general intelligence. That's when AI is going to become smarter than humans and be able to do things on its own. And he framed it as, will an AI agent be able to create an app and operate the app to the point that it gets to $1 billion of revenue? That's what Lex Friedman defined as AGI. And Jensen said, yes, I think we've already achieved AGI. So people are just running with the I think we've achieved AGI quote. I think it's irresponsible to say that. I don't think that's true. We have agentic AI that can work on all sorts of stuff. Claude is now able to use your computer remotely for you. Like, you can access your computer from your phone, which you've been able to do as a person for a while, but now an AI can do it for you. That does not mean it's an artificial general intelligence. The definition of that in the philosophical community has been super intelligence, a computer that is smarter than a human, and not faster than a human, smarter than a human. And I don't think we've gotten there yet. So that was like another bit that came out of just Jensen kind of talking his own book. Of course, the guy who runs the most valuable company on earth that has attached his company to the AI rocket ship is going to say, hey, AI, go to the moon, right? But the DLSS story is it's just not what it was advertised as. And we also got Capcom making a statement, TJ, about the use of generative AI in their games. It was kind of weird, because on the one hand, it was like, we're not going to use it for art, but at the same time, we are going to use it for research and development. Was that kind of the vibe?
I heard productivity and workplace efficiency.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's hard to know exactly what that means without them explaining further.
But it did sound, I think Kotaku ran an article on this where they spoke to a bunch of developers who were unhappy with DLSS 5. They're like...
On the Capcom note app, Asif, I think that they were blindsided by seeing Requiem used in this video.
Yeah.
And pretty upset about it, too, because they don't want that game to be associated with generative AI.
No. And it's not. It was not made with generative AI. And we talked about it in depth last week. Like, they yassified Grace for no good reason. And I think they broke the original intent of the art design and also the lighting. So now that it's coming out that they're using 2D filters for this, it explains why the 3D lighting is so borked. And I would recommend going out, like, watching the not Digital Foundry. Don't watch the Digital Foundry video. Watch the Gamers Nexus video on it. Watch the Maximilian Dude videos on it. Gamers Nexus broke down the, Don, we were talking about last week, movement. They're straight up artifacting in that FIFA or the football club scene where dude's arm detaches from his elbow. This does not handle movement well. And I don't know if you guys know, but video games kind of use movement a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I said it last week. I don't know who DLSS 5 is for. And it seems like the devs are coming out and saying it's not for them either. At least parts of it.
My concern as a player is that, and I hope as a developer as well, is that I can use DLS like on my PC without enabling DLSS 5 features. I don't want it to be an all or nothing scenario, because I think DLSS is an impressive and necessary technology for a lot of people, but I don't want DLSS 5 features in my games.
Yeah, it's the super sampling, the upscaling, the frame generation. Like, there are things that it helps people with lower spec cards, lower spec PCs play games better. It helps the Nintendo Switch 2 run better. Like, that stuff is great. They shoehorned in generative AI. Like, there was no need to do this. And that's where, like, I think that's where they jumped the shark. And this is what happens when you don't ship a fucking new graphics card and you have to announce something. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I think it's backfiring. And man, there are some people on social media who won't shut up about how great it is. And somebody's got to take the phone out of their hands. They're embarrassing. I don't want to say a name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. The Stephen A. Smith of games media. There, I said it. I'm like this close to muting the dude, and I don't dislike the person. It's just, it makes you wonder who's in your pockets if you're like screaming at the top of your lungs about how everyone's wrong about DLSS 5, and you're one of the only people still screaming that. It just makes me wonder. We do have some other Capcom news, and this game is on Nintendo Switch 2, TJ. Street Fighter 6 hit its highest concurrent player count on the back of this Alex DLC, which Ozzy wrote a really good story about this. Did you guys know about this Alex story?
I didn't know about it until I edited Ozzy's piece, because I don't keep up with patch notes and stuff. But yeah, this was wild shit, and I think it's the most people have paid attention to the Street Fighter story ever. Probably.
It literally is. Not since Raul Julia was Bison have I cared about the Street Fighter story this much. But I've watched several breakdowns of it, and I am... Wow. That's interesting, TJ.
Alex fans in shambles. Like, in shambles.
He's such a cool character.
Yeah.
He's such a cool character. And this was just out of left field. Yeah.
What happened?
It appears...
Oh, you don't know? You don't know?
So,
No.
So Alex has
Alex.
a adoptive sister named Patricia that he's
That's
been
beautiful.
looking after since Street Fighter 3. He takes care of her. He looks after her. He fights for her.
You are burying the lead.
Somewhere along the lines between Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 6, they became more than adoptive. They became married. And
No,
then
they're cousins.
became
Your cousins.
pregnant. And then in a small little bit, somewhere in the storyline arcade, it is mentioned that she is not just his adoptive sister. She is his second cousin on his
Whoops.
uncle's side.
My bad. Yeah.
You know, this explains some things. 'Cause I saw a popular tweet the other day that was like, "Is it morally wrong to date the like daughter of the family that adopted you or whatever?" And I saw the debate. I was like, "Why is this a topic?" Capcom commented on this. Well, they have a
No.
statement.
Capcom just letting it rip.
How could you?
No one's put a mic in front of anybody in Street Fighter yet. We got to figure this out. That's
It wasn't addressed at the Capcom Cup. Nope.
I bet even Capcom is surprised. Like, wait, they care about our lore? What the fuck?
But
maybe it was a test.
they're
to see
also,
if
like-
people were paying attention.
because this came out of World Tour, TJ. Like some of these story parts came out of World Tour, which nobody played. Like it's like they're like, wait a second, people are playing World Tour, David. That's the first thing. They're like, holy crap! Like there are people doing deep dives into the Alex lore in World Tour. Like, so I ask you, TJ, how much of this highest concurrent player count is because of this?
I don't know, because like there have been other very hyped characters that came out that didn't like so like the concurrent player count on Street Fighter 6 has taken quite a few it's jumped quite a few times throughout the history, but not like this. Not like this since the first and even over when the game launched.
Man, that hell of a story. I couldn't leave it out of our rundown. Because it's like, it is a Nintendo Switch 2 game. You can go see it for yourself on Switch 2, everybody.
It would be hilarious if like 10% of the concurrent count was people playing through Alex's story. Like, I gotta see this shit. Like,
Hey, David, you know what I know? They didn't do any of this nonsense in Mortal Kombat 1.
they did not. There's nobody sleeping with their cousins in Mortal Kombat.
All above board over there.
The memes have been troubling.
I've seen some of them. They're pretty good. They're pretty
Forget
good.
the memes. The screenshots are troubling. That like one montage shot with like the wedding photo and then his head on her belly. Like, I'm just like, this is... it was awkward. Like, I was watching Maximilian Dude react to this and break it down in depth. You know, Max is a great FGC, creator, I guess you can say, player. But yeah. Street Fighter 6 available on Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh my goodness.
It runs very well on Switch 2. I actually like
on the-
World Tour. That's like
on the
the
RE
mode
engine,
for me.
right?
Like the casual guy who sucks at competitive, like that's the mode for me. Like, you know, but of course Donovan had to make it about MK versus Street Fighter.
One last jab.
It was
3 years later.
It was crazy because like Tekken 8 also had a tremendously bad patch, which the fans were not crazy about. And so like in the midst of all this Street Fighter 6 cousin love and Tekken 8 Season 3 shambles, like SNK is just over there like, we have a game.
Yeah.
And Guilty Gear was like, we'll come in and save everyone with our 2.0 announcement.
Seriously.
I like TJ's take. Like, how is Guilty Gear the normal one right now?
Seriously. That was the update's solid though. They gave us a little hint at the next few DLC characters. 2.0 update seems material. Guilty Gear Strive is on Switch too.
Yes, we thought it was just going to be 2 characters, and then they went ahead and said, no, we're going to do a full 4-character season, so I'm stoked.
Yeah, that is dope. You're right. How the hell is Guilty Gear the normal one in all this? Yeah. Meanwhile, Under Night and Birth Celis is also seemingly normal compared to this other shit. Normally, they're the weird weeby one. So yeah, there's your FGC corner. Fatal Fury, not on Switch 2 yet. Seems like it should be. Just gonna throw it out there. SNK. Game that is on Switch 2. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is getting Mega Man. But also Dr. Wily Track, right?
Yes. They did a remix of the Wily's Castle stage and its music, and that music is so ridiculously good. Yeah, composed by the Capcom sound team, and then taken by the Sega composer and rearranged. Very impressive collaboration.
Yeah, we love seeing Mega Man reappear in video games. We got a new Mega Man game coming, but Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, Donovan loves to shit on the Mario Kart World character select screen. CrossWorlds has a great roster.
It does.
It does. Like at this point, it's actually quite impressive, especially the guest characters from other franchises. Getting the Minecraft crossover and how they implemented Minecraft. Like I'm really impressed with the tracks that they bring from these different franchises over. I think Minecraft was really impressive. This Mega Man one looks really cool. Hatsune Miku appearing in the game is really dope. So I gotta give them credit. They have kept CrossWorlds in the discussion through these updates. And I think this is a paid one though, right? The third party ones tend to be paid DLC. But looks cool. And the Switch 2 edition is out now. It runs a lot better than the original Switch version. But yeah, CrossWorlds still making moves. Not a lick of Mario Kart World DLC. Not even a sniff of it.
Well, how long? I mean, we waited a while for Mario Kart 8 DLC on the Wii U. So, and this is still, they're only what month is this? They're only 10 months out from the game's launch. So
yeah, but also, it was more egregious with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, David, because that was a freaking Wii U port.
Yeah.
That was they took forever to announce that booster course pack. But when they did, they doubled the amount of tracks in the game, and that was cool.
Well, but there was DLC on the Wii U version.
Correct,
too.
with the Zelda and Animal Crossing stuff. No, you're right. But still. Nintendo, do something.
Please understand.
Yeah, for real. Speaking of please understand, we got a please understand moment out of Fortnite and Epic Games today. Which, I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's actually a racing game story also, Donovan. Rocket Racing, which was pitched to me as the F-099 killer at the Shacknews Awards the year it was launched. Remember that? For a week? When Ozzy's like, I don't know. Rocket Racing might beat F-099 out for best racing game. I'm like, really, Ozzy? Really, Ozzy? Really? Really, Ozzy? Well, it's dead. So guess what outlasted Rocket Racing?
It's going to die right before we fire up the Shacknews Awards for this year. It's going offline in October.
Yep. Also, the festival battle stage is going away.
Which is worth specifying. It's not the festival mode. They're not getting rid of the entire Harmonix developed rhythm game. This was specifically a team versus team competitive thing inside of it. Still sucks. But yeah, that's going in April.
That's not that Daft Punk mode that we played. That's not this. This is just a PvP thing.
No, although in this, I saw people saying that Daft Punk quietly died when the season started 5 days ago. So I think they quietly shuffled that off the playlist thing.
I hate this aspect of Fortnite. Because when something I like appears...
The ocean tastes like tears.
Oof.
Dark.
That is apt. Wow, Wonderflower or Talking Flower. But anyway, Rocket Racing's gonna die in October. Festival Battle Stage goes away April 16th. Ballistic the Counter-Strike version?
Yes, it was their first-person shooter tactical game mode, which I thought actually had potential. They just abandoned it, man. Like, it only sat around a couple thousand concurrent players, you can check, but you could never get into a game of 5v5 on there, and they just stopped updating it. They stopped putting content and maps in there. I thought it was an interesting idea, Fortnite in first person. But yeah, not surprising that they're killing that one.
So, all these things announced, but the other story, the bigger story, the more important story, is that Epic Games has laid off 1,000 employees, citing a downturn in Fortnite engagement. They're attempting to cut over $500 million in spending to put the company in a more stable space, as they put it. I think, TJ, you wrote this story, right?
Yeah, they just straight up announced that. And one of the things they put in there is that they cite Fortnite's downturn in engagement from apparently as far back as 2025 as the main cause of this. But, like, I'm not going to let it go that they also put in there that their recent legal battles have also contributed to this. And they put it in such a way, going as far as to say is, in being the industry's vanguard, we have taken a lot of bullets in a battle which is only in the early days of paying off for ourselves and all developers. What a self-congratulatory thing to put in your fucking layoff letter of 1,000 people.
Yeah, and I can tell you that, not citing who these people are, but I know some people who have been at Epic Games for a long time, and the company was expected to have an IPO by now, to go public and unlock those, those options and their ability to vest shares and people being able to exit these stock-based compensation agreements. The lawsuits with Apple and Google delayed all of that because you can't go public when you're fighting two of the largest companies on earth, but also they literally extended people's vesting periods. So there are some people who are losing their jobs here that may never actually get their stock-based compensation paid out. So it's like, not only are you fired and you lost your job, but you may never get that stock-based compensation that you were promised, which is like equally shitty, right? Because now he extended the vesting period. Now he's firing people before they vest. It's super shitty what is going on here. And you're absolutely right to point that out, TJ, that these lawsuits, which he's pounding, I say he, because Tim Sweeney is like the dictator of Epic Games, that they're pounding their chest about being a vanguard for the industry. If this was such a huge win, Tim, why are you firing everyone? And why is your game in a downturn now that it's on mobile again? Yeah. Seems weird.
It feels insanely sensitive and out of touch to include something like that in the press release itself.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to pound your chest about the things you're doing in lawsuits, maybe do it elsewhere, not where you're saying we have to cut people because it seems so out of touch.
And part of his settlement with Google is that he can't say anything negative about Google. So it's like he's like agreed to a gag order as part of the settlement. So it's like very vanguardy of you, Tim. Anyway, just shitty news. But figure Fortnite is definitely a game on the Switch and the Switch 2. Runs pretty well on the Switch 2. Unfortunate, but I think it seems like they're focusing on the game, like the actual game, Donovan, instead of some of these offshoot things. Like, it definitely felt like Fortnite did that thing where they're like, we're gonna be everything. We're Ready Player One. And now it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should just get back to being Fortnite first and then worry about these other things.
Yeah, from a financial perspective, it's worth mentioning that ever since Unreal Engine released, they've been paying out millions of dollars to creators. And if you open up Fortnite right now and look at what the most played creator-made game modes are, it is like random brain rot AI bullshit. It's like millions of concurrent players on like Steal the Brain Rot. It's like AI characters and like a farm. It's like weird shit that doesn't even seem real. And there's a million people playing it. And they're paying out millions of dollars annually to the creators of these games, which I'd imagine, I don't know, doing something about that would probably save some money for their employees. But
so You brought up AI brain rot. I watch Moist Critical, his YouTube channel. I like Charlie. I think he's a funny dude. He was talking about one of the fastest growing TikTok trends right now, one of the fastest growing TikTok channels. Have you heard of Love Island, the dating show?
Yeah.
Apparently, someone has created an AI slot version of that called Fruit Love Island. And it's about fruit dating each other. And it's like garbage. It's one of the fastest accounts to go from 0 to 1 million followers on TikTok ever. So we're just in this era, Donovan, of people consuming garbage, like aggressively. Yeah. And then, the platform's rewarding them because they don't care. It's engagement, right? And to Fortnite, if they're so worried about usage, they don't care if you're playing a good mode or not. So I think it's important to point that out, that there's all this user-generated AI slop on Fortnite now because of Fortnite engine and UEFN. So, they're less incentivized to make good modes and invest in them, which is shitty. But I do think that's important color for what's going on here. On to a little bit of Nintendo-specific news, guys. So, the European Union has a law or regulation going into effect in 2027 that certain consumer electronics devices have to have easily replaceable, removable batteries. If you're a portable consumer electronic device, I think any consumer electronic device that's has a battery in it needs to be easily removable. And that is not a way that you can describe Nintendo products. It's hard. And that's not a way you can describe Apple products. It's very hard to remove an iPhone battery, for instance, or a MacBook battery, right? I will say that the MacBook Neo, I watched the iFixit teardown of the product. It is the most easily removable battery pack they've ever shipped in a MacBook. So it's starting. These companies that have super proprietary battery packs are starting to get ready for 2027. So there's a rumor that Nintendo Switch 2 with removable battery pack is in development at Nintendo, specifically for Europe. I hope it comes out over here, because here's Nintendo Ninja. I know you're busy giving John Jaboufer access to the Super Mario Galaxy movie instead of Shacknews, but if you are still listening, removable battery packs create the opportunity to sell more than one battery pack for this dog shit battery Nintendo Switch 2. I would gladly buy another battery pack for this thing if I could extend the useful life of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of battery. Swap, right? Wouldn't that be nice?
Would be very nice.
Just saying, Nintendo, free money. You'll probably charge an absurd amount for it, but I'll do it. I already have these what do you call them? These battery banks. I have this Anchor one that I plug into the Switch 2, but you gave me an easier way to just replace my battery when I ran out. I would buy a backup battery for the thing. So I think it is good. I think it's pro-consumer. I think the EU is kind of ahead of the game when it comes to some of this stuff. They pushed for USB-C for all devices, and you've seen iPhone and Mac and iPad adopt USB-C as a result instead of sticking with Lightning or some other proprietary cable. So the EU has been pushing these things. I think replaceable batteries, easily removable batteries is a good thing. And it wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo is working on this, because they are now less than a year away from having to have this as part of the regulations there. That doesn't seem fake. That seems like a real news story, right? But we're back with FUD Busters. So people who don't know what FUD is, I've used this term now twice on this podcast. FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's a term that we use in the stock market a lot because, I talked about it a few weeks ago. There's what's actually happening at the company, and there's the perception of what's happening at the company. And inside that gap is where I live. I look for companies that everyone think are going to shit that aren't, and I invest in them. And then I hold on to it until the perception shifts. So Bloomberg ran this article. I want to say it was late last night that Nintendo, I want to give like the proper headline it's due, because it is a very specific way that they phrased it that I think scared people. This is how they phrased the headline. I want to point this out because it's important. Because I've seen a lot of aggregators run with this today. Here's the headline. Nintendo cuts Switch 2 output by over 30% on weak US sales. That's the headline. Okay? It's from Takashi Mochizuki, who is historically terrible at covering Nintendo and Sony. I want to point that out. Not just Nintendo, but also PlayStation. So the story is that Nintendo is cutting back production of the Nintendo Switch 2 after a weak holiday season. So we already know how they did in the holiday season, right? Like, they already reported that. We've reported it. You know, they sold, I think it was like 17.5 million Switch 2s. They still held on to their guidance of selling 19 million Switches by the end of their first fiscal year with the Switch, which is less than 12 months. So this is the phrasing of the second paragraph. The company plans to make 4 million units of its flagship device this quarter, a third less than the 6 million it had originally planned to produce. People familiar with the matter said. The reduced output rate is set to continue in April, the people said, asking not to be named as the figures aren't public. Okay. Claimed those are the anonymous sources, right? So, based on the data that I've seen, Nintendo had increased their capacity to 25 million Switches by, so we have a story here at Shacknews. Nintendo expects to have 25 million units in production by March 2026. So that's the end of this month that we're in. That's next week, right, guys? So 25 million units of Switch 2. 19 million units of Switch 2 is how many they expect to sell by the end of March 2026, right? So that is 6 million more units in their supply chain than they expect to have sold by the end of the same period, right? But we know that they had sold 17.5 million by the end of December. That means to hit their targets, their increased targets, not their original targets, their increased targets, they need to sell about 1.5 million Switch 2s between January 1st and the end of March of this year. So, when he says, this is the next paragraph, after a record-setting debut in June, sales of the Switch 2 have failed to meet Nintendo management's high expectations. They've already sold 17.5 million units of this thing. And the original expectations, Shacknews reported it back when they provided their guidance for the Switch 2 in May of 2025, right? Before the Switch 2 launched, in May. Do you guys know what the original expectations for the first fiscal year were?
Wasn't it like between 5 and 10?
It was 15 million, which was a large number. But you know what's bigger than 15 million? 17.5 million, which they've already fucking sold. So, like, you're right, David, that you thought it was like 10 million. 15 million was high expectations. So how on earth can you say that the Switch 2 has failed to meet Nintendo management's high expectations when they've already increased their guidance on their sales for this thing and they've already beat their original expectations? How on earth can you say this in an article? That's bullshit. That is straight up bullshit. But okay, fine. Forget this. Let's go talk about that channel inventory I was talking about. Okay, so they need to sell 19 million units by next week for their first however many months of the Switch 2. June 5th to March 31st, right? Their guidance is for 19 million units, 25 million units of supply, right? So if they decrease this quarter production from 6 million to 4 million based on their own guidance, that means there would be 23 million Switch 2s available for sale by the end of this month. That's 4 million units more than they projected to sell. Do you see why I'm yelling about this right now? Like, this is stupid. This is FUD. This is injecting fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And this is writing about something based on December sales numbers, which we already fucking knew. What's happened between December and now?
Why do you think they wrote this?
Because Bloomberg has a hate boner for Nintendo. And I'm sorry, I've seen it before with Apple, and I've seen it before with Sony. This author, this journalist specifically, has been wrong so many fucking times. This is the same person that ran that story with Shinsuke Hasegawa as the source, David. The same dude who wrote that story. But what has happened between now and then? What's happened, guys, between December 31st and now? What fucking game came out between then and now?
Pokopia?
Yes! And everyone has said, Pokopia is a system seller. So it's like, is this true? Maybe. But my whole point is, even if this is true, they have 6 million more units of production than they have expected sales. So if, let's just say this is true, they'll have 23 million units with 19 million units sold. They'll have 4 million units in the channel. So let's just say, okay, for the next 4 quarters, they're going to have 4 million units made. That's 16 million units between April 1st of this year and April 1st of next year. Plus the 4 million already in inventory. Okay, so that's 16 million plus 4. That's 20 million. That means that they are going to have 20 million units available for sale in the next year. That's more than the 19 million they expect to have sold this year. It's not crazy growth. But you're talking about the best-selling console of all fucking time. How on earth did that not meet expectations? The best console launch of all time. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I'm sorry. This is bullshit. This is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and it's based on backwards-looking information. And he didn't cite his source because obviously it might be an insider. It might be a supplier for all we know. But I wanted to put it in the context of that last story. This is the current Switch that they're talking. This is the current Switch 2 they're talking about. We don't know. Does this factor in the new battery packs that they have to ship in Europe? We don't know. Does he even mention it in the article? No. But this idea that they didn't meet their own internal expectations is complete bullshit. They've already increased their guidance. And even if this 2 million unit decrease is true, they still have 23 million units out there for 19 million units sold. That's insane. But to run this headline, Nintendo cuts Switch 2 output by over 30% on weak US sales. They didn't do shit. Nintendo hasn't done anything yet. This is not confirmed. Why not just wait until May when they tell you?
It's pretty outrageous to run this.
This is Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Again.
And like you said before, it's not even just like a one-time occurrence. He has articles like this ranging back to the Switch 1 and maybe even before that are just like bad data used to push a point that isn't necessarily true.
So I'm glad you brought it up. This is from at First Adopter on Twitter. He said he actually talked to Claude about this. Here are several notable instances where Bloomberg reporting on Nintendo was directly refuted or denied by the company. Switch OLED profit margin report. Mochizuki reported that profit margins on Switch OLED would increase compared to the current version. Bloomberg speculated that the OLED's features only cost $10 per unit besides the $50 increase. Nintendo responded on its investor relations website, Twitter account, saying that the claim was incorrect. 4K Switch 2 or Switch development kits report. Mochizuki reported in 2021 that there were 4K Switch, Nintendo Switch Pro development kits out there. The only company named in the report was Zynga. Also denied that. Nintendo had to put out a statement saying that was false. Switch 2 wholesale pricing report back in June. Mochizuki reported that Nintendo was setting wholesale prices in Japan so retailers could earn a gross margin of about 5%. Nintendo issued another public statement denying the report, saying it was not true. Switch 2 software sales narrative back in November. Mochizuki argued that Switch 2 owners weren't buying as many games. Multiple analysts pointed out that this comparison was misleading because digital sales weren't being counted in the reporting. Those are just 4 examples.
Yeah. And like, you look at that and you look at that byline on this new story and one would expect a journalist that is worth their salt might be like, I should vet this a little bit more because maybe this is wrong again. Instead, today I saw like a lot of outlets just running with this story. I'm so confused.
Look, Denny dropped it in news last night, and I explained why we weren't going to run a story on this. If we were to run a story on this, we would say Bloomberg reports Nintendo to cut Switch. Like, you don't just run this headline. This headline is irresponsible, is my point. Yeah. Nintendo hasn't cut shit yet. They haven't said anything yet. You can say sources say, but who's going to click on that? This is clickbait. This is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and it's based on backwards-looking information that doesn't even mention Pokopia at all.
Yeah.
Because things have changed. You go look at Daniel Ahmed's tweet from a few weeks ago, or look at Matt Piscatella, like from today. Like, actually good analysts who look at channel checks, there's actual information out there that refutes this.
And when you look at the effect where we're seeing it on social media today, everyone that ran with this story and then the commentary that has come after, it's like it's a sad state because like on some level, what Bloomberg did was just purposely disrupt everything.
And we are in this era where 90% of trading on the stock market, guys, is done by algorithmic trading, high frequency algorithmic trading, and they all have Bloomberg terminals. So they see this headline and they sell the stock without even thinking. Stock's down 5% today. 1 week ahead of the Mario movie's release. I'm just going to throw that out there. I have been staring at the chart all day. I've bought this fucking stock 9 times in the last 3 months. I'm doing my best to not buy it today. Because I'm like, okay, let's let this play out for a couple of days. But I know that the fucking Mario movie's a week away, Donovan. And I don't know. Do you think people are going to go fucking see the Mario movie?
I get a feeling they will.
Nope. Not anymore. Because this guy says that they're cutting Switch production numbers. Not even considering that other story I just mentioned. Anyway. Before we go... once again, I have busted the FUD. I just want to show everyone my homework. I think I've provided a bunch of actual data, the original expectations, the increased expectations, the production numbers, and even factoring in these decreased numbers. They have 4 million units more of supply than they have of expected sales. Yes, the United States the economy here is weak. It is. But this thing's selling like crazy in Japan. And it's also the best-selling console launch of all time. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, are we really this stupid? You guys are staring at one tree. Look at the fucking forest. Anyway, before we go, Donovan, I fucking love Pokopia. I can't stop playing this game. I played it for 4 hours straight last night. I got all sorts of... like, I got to the fucking beach. Whatever.
Beach.
Yeah. I'm falling over Pokemon now. Falling over all sorts of stuff, man. I got Piplup, and we're just out there. We're cleaning up all the mud. Like, this game, I don't know if you guys remember when I got Animal Crossing, like, I just spent, like, my entire first stream just picking up weeds, David. Like, cleaning mud in this game feels the exact same to me. I'm like, I gotta clean all the mud.
Yeah.
And I put Torchic to work. He's cranking out bricks for me, Donovan. I built the Pikachu statue. I'm well on my way to rebuilding the second Pokemon Center. or Pokemon. Yeah, I fucking love this game.
It's
a great.
I have to get going.
I know, but yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here anyway. But I know you haven't had a chance to play it anyway, David. But yeah, still loving this game. David's got to run. He's got long read interviews to do. So feel free to jump out here, David.
All right.
But yeah, I'm fucking loving this game. I know TJ, you picked it up recently. Awesome. This is it's probably my game of the year right now.
Every time I climb over a new hill, I see a vast stretch of untouched opportunity, and I just grow insane with anxiousness and run away back to where I was at to work on what I was working on. I want to get there. I want to get to that point, but I also want to advance the story to the point where I have all the tools to work with that stuff and all the resources I want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh, watching the way that everybody builds like these civil engineering projects on social media, like irrigation systems, underground like homes, underground bridges, like full like warehouses. It's incredible.
Have you seen this whole music aspect of it, Donovan? It reminds me of those auto-run Mario Maker levels where people were making songs. There's like different notes you can play. So like it's a combination of making a railway system and triggering different notes. Someone made a Rickroll video out of their Pokopia subway. Like Pokopia subways are just a thing now. Like people are just making subway systems in this game. I saw someone create like an entire city underneath the Withering Wastelands. Yeah, TJ, this is crazy. This is a juggernaut of a game. And it's like, I think it's like, it's the kind of game where you could play it for the entire generation of a system. Like it seems like that kind of game, Donovan.
Yeah, I think they're about to wrap up the first event tomorrow. The runway is wide open for them to keep supporting it for years. But you're right, there's so much content. You mentioned tripping over Pokemon. The Pokedex in this game is massive. You'll see as you keep exploring.
But also not just the Pokedex, but the materials available to you, right? Like how the biomes introduce the different materials, and like you're like, oh, okay, so this is how you build bricks. Okay, so now the concept of electricity, right? Like the grid, like creating an electrical grid and powering different places. Like that's a new thing that they introduce in this biome. The amount of systems in this game is it's just so damn impressive. And it's like, I don't like comparing Animal Crossing this. And, hey, Animal Crossing just had its 6th anniversary. Shout out to Animal Crossing. But it's just so much deeper than Animal Crossing ever went. Just the scope of it.
Yeah.
It's just so much bigger. What you can do with this game is crazy. The verticality of this game is crazy. Yeah, I can't stop playing it now. It's so fucking good. It is so fucking good.
Every day I see a custom build and I'm like, how are you people doing this?
Doing all sorts of cool stuff, man. Like odes to different moments in Pokemon history.
And 3 p.m. 3 p.m. About time for a snack.
About time for a snack.
I hear that.
But this fucking guy. Yeah, I've made some progress. I saw it wasn't Ho-Oh, it was like a different flying legendary, Donovan.
Lugia?
Was the ice one? Or it was like a tornado feather?
No.
Have you seen this thing?
The tornado feather is Lugia. Lugia is white.
Okay, yeah, I saw Lugia at the beach. That was the first time I've ran into Lugia. So that was cool. What am I going to do something with these feathers at some point?
Yes, there's a character you can exchange them with to get relics and furniture and stuff.
Okay, cool. I love stuff like that because it's like the blood moon in Zelda or something. It's just like when it appears, you're like, oh my god, look at that thing, and you hear it before you see it most of the time.
Yeah, which I really like.
Yeah, I think that's always cool because like I'll be like managing inventory. That's a problem. I'm gonna throw that out there, Donovan. I feel like such a dumbass. I just learned that if you put your storage boxes next to your crafting table, that you don't have to take things out of the box to use them while you're crafting.
Which is crazy. It took me a while to figure that out too. I will say, the more you progress, you expand your inventory, which each area you go to. You can buy it from the PC once you rebuild it. So
yeah, I bought that. There's like a larger there's a larger storage box. I got the crafting recipe for it and I built one. But like, can I put that?
Even your character inventory, I meant like your.
Yeah, I got like a bag or something. So I got like that second row or third row or whatever. Yeah. I guess it becomes less of a problem. But right now it's like I'm discovering new biomes, and each new biome there's different materials, so like that's creating that creates issues. But yeah, I fucking love this game. I did notice, I pointed out to you last night, the music is different in the biomes. So like the nighttime theme on the beach is different than the nighttime theme in Withering Wasteland. Without fail, I think it might just be the time of day I'm playing this game, Donovan, but like Withering Wasteland knocked me out on Friday night. I was just like out. And then I was playing it again on Sunday night. Granted, I ate a lot of tacos for dinner on Sunday night, and then I threw on Pokopia. The itis hit me, but like Withering Wasteland nighttime music plus a bunch of tacos in my belly equals me falling asleep while holding the controller. And it's not that I don't like the game, it's just it's so soothing that sometimes I fall asleep while playing the game.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and I'm like, oh god, it's been 2 hours, and I was just like sitting there, the controller in my hand. My battery on my controller died because I was just sitting there. And like the music's just so peaceful. It's such a peaceful game. And the fact that you can just do that and like your Ditto just falls asleep. Like you wake up, I wake up and I look at my screen and Ditto has like Z's over his head. So I'm like, yep, that's me. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
We've often talked about how they thought of everything. And the other day I was up on a high cliff overlooking Withering Wasteland, and I was like, I wonder if Ditto like splats into a slime form when he hits the ground if you jump from a high spot. And sure enough,
yep.
No fall damage. I just all the interactions. There's so many little interactions that they did to add flavor to it that makes it so fun and alive.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece. It really is. It's like you said, Dom. It's that perfect marriage of like great developer and a reverence for the Pokemon IP, spin-off game, but like I think this, in the context of that last story we were talking about, like so many people like to say that Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't have any games. And I'm like, what universe are you on? Like, are we really acting like this launch year has been disappointing from a software standpoint? We got Mario Kart World. We got Donkey Kong Bonanza. Hell, we got Kirby Air Riders. We got Metroid Prime 4. You got Hyrule Warriors and Pokopia Kicker. Oh, by the way, Legends ZA. Like, are we really acting like this is this weak software lineup?
We aren't.
But people are.
Yeah.
It's strange that that's the narrative. That's like still the narrative out there, that there's not any software for Nintendo Switch 2. And I just ask them, like, what games have shipped on Xbox in the last year? What games have shipped on PlayStation in the last year? Not to shit on PlayStation, because like Ghost of Yotei is great. But like software lineups for these games consoles have been light across the generation. I'd say Nintendo's done a really good job of like, you don't go 2 or 3 months without a banger. Like, that appeals to some group of people. Maybe not for everyone. Like, I think it's true to say that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond disappointed sales-wise. But Pokemon Legends ZA didn't. I don't think this game will. I think this game is like... You called it, Donovan. This was in our prediction episode. You're like, this is going to be one of the best-selling games of the year. It's going to be the best-selling game on the Switch, too. And it looks like you might be right. And it's like... It resembles the Animal Crossing hype. And obviously Animal Crossing had the pandemic going on. Right now we have a war going on. But I think that people need escape in video games, and games like Mario Kart World and Pokopia provide that for people, and that's insanely valuable. But I find it, that narrative, which, yeah, you see it, I'm not going to say just on Twitter, you see it on Blue Sky as well. I saw all those posters replying to the Wario post. He reposted that Bloomberg story. And it's like, oh, it's because it has no games, or oh, it's because it's too expensive. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I think there's an argument to be made about the weakness of the U.S. consumer in general and how that is impacting all discretionary spending. But there's also just, this is the best-selling console launch ever. Like, that seems lost on people. Like, not everyone. But man, this is weird. But anyway, I fucking love Pokopia. I want to keep playing it. I want to play it every day. I think about it a lot. And yeah, like, it feels like Animal Crossing, where like I see what people are doing and I'm like, I'm never going to do that. But I'm happy they're doing it. I haven't even gotten to building railways or anything, Donovan, but like when I do that, I do want to try to make a song, like make music with the thing. I love that. It reminds me of Mario Maker 2 and Mario Maker 1 in a lot of ways, where like that's a whole genre of Mario Maker level, right? Those like song levels that are just auto scroll. Like it resembles that in a lot of ways.
Check your daily shop, because those music pads rotate in and out. You can get all of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I have been checking my daily shop, but I'm out here just getting a gamer bed still. But yeah, I don't know if the bee lady, does she sell the music blocks or no? Just furniture?
She might.
Okay.
She might. But I know for sure they show up at the PC shop.
Okay, I'll keep checking that. But yeah, it's this game's outstanding. I know you're still playing it for review. You haven't gotten to the end, right?
I'm at the very last area.
Okay. From what I've heard, just from people who I've seen people like, hey, I rolled credits and they all have like the tear eye emoji. It sounds like there's an emotional ending to this game.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Which I'm loving, just the narrative, the gameplay, the loop. I can't wait to hear how you score this. But I think you've reviewed this the right way. This is kind of how I handled the Tears of the Kingdom review. Admittedly, I took a little bit longer. I played that game for like 8 months before I scored it. But you haven't scored yours yet either. But it does feel like Animal Crossing, where the game starts after you beat it.
Yeah.
So I haven't been rushing to roll credits. But it does feel like now that I'm in the second biome, things are happening faster. You know? Like it's like you run into a Pokemon, you run into those whatever, like the things that give you the clues for the habitat, and then you're like, oh, okay, right. I need to do this, and then this, and then this. I do. I feel like as I keep playing it, it makes me want to play it more. But yeah, last night, like, it was like 4 hours just evaporated. This game, you don't realize how long you're playing it for.
Yeah. Time eraser.
It's a time eraser. This would be great on an airplane trip or whatever. I know you're going to PAX. This would be a good airplane game.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing it for sure.
I do think it's probably going to become a second screen game for me too. Like, you know, when sports come back, you know, put it in tabletop mode and just kind of use it as your second screen while you're watching whatever. But I'm enjoying the experience. I'm not rushing through it. I think that's the way to do it. But yeah, we had to talk about Pokopia. This is the Switch 2 podcast, so we have to talk about Pokopia every week. Probably even after Donovan beats it.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, I'll do it. Action-packed episode. Thanks for checking out Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 edition Meetup at Bellabel Park, Donovan.
There you go. Yeah.
Easy for me to say. And yeah, looking forward to your full review of Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, TJ. I am super jelly that you're playing that game right now. Talk about embarrassment of riches, being able to play Pokopia and that. Like,
I cannot wait to share the silly things that I have been doing with my island and my characters.
Yeah, that's I don't know how. I don't even like. Pokopia came out.
There's drama afoot.
Pokopia came out, and it like zapped any time I had to play RE9, which I still love. Like, that game's awesome. And I think, I don't know, have both of you guys beat RE9?
Yeah.
Like, I need to beat RE9. With what time, I don't know. But, like, I really, really do want to beat that game. So it's like, how the hell am I going to accomplish that when Tomodachi Life is coming to steal my time as well? I'm going to have to balance Pokopia with that. Maybe I'm going to, like, Tomodachi Life comes out in April?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a little bit of time. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, my island looks like my Pokopia world looks like such butt compared to what I see on the internet, Donovan. I just am like, it's that Homer
I'm right there
meme
with you.
when he's building the grill in his backyard. He's like, why doesn't mine look like that?
I'm right there with you. I only just finally fixed the roads in the first place.
That you're ahead of me. You are ahead of me. I still have busted ass brick roads. I still have grass over some of the roads. Yeah, I'm like barely. I fixed one bridge in Withering Wasteland so far, because like once I got to the level where I could go to the next biome, I did, and then like I finally remembered that I grew beans, so I gave Hitmonchan the beans that he asked me for like 2 weeks ago, Donovan. Yeah. There's stuff like that going on. But yeah, love that game. I'm going to let Talking Flower weigh in before we head out. So you got anything to say, Talking Flower?
I think you're neat.
I agree. I am neat.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Thanks again, guys. Like, follow, and subscribe if you like this video. We'll see you next time with more Nintendo Switch 2 news, reviews, topics. Bye-bye.